Well, good morning. We're back at it, and it is grumpy. It's not Papa Smurf. Don't get confused. Back at it finally. Got me work shirt on. Only got shorts on, but it was a little chilly this morning. So you know, it's only, what is it now? 9:30. I'm only going to hang around out here for about an hour or so. Baby steps. I just want to, my hip feels pretty good. And I can walk without it, but I decided to bring this out just to help, you know, so I don't, if I lose my balance or whatever, I don't want to, you know, I've got something I can support myself with. So, since last time, my last little one, I've ordered a foot pedal. Thank you to those that suggested that. And there have been comments about making it safe so that once you hit the e-stop or take your foot off the pedal, you've got to push the button to restart it. That could be a little bit of a problem on its own, but I'm going to work on that and see. I did mention about the music. The stupid thing is eBay. Oh God, you're a clown. YouTube picks it up. The music I use comes from a site called Pixabay, and it's royalty free, and it says you can use it, but because it's digitally signed, every time YouTube picks it up, it says this video cannot be monetized because it's found copyright material. But when you go to the analytics and all that crap, it says that it doesn't affect the channel and it doesn't affect the video, so who knows. But what I've done is I've sourced another some more music. You'll see it linked below. A mate of mine, Darren, or Daz as he likes to be called, we've known each other. We met online back in the mid to late 90s. He was only a young fella, and we've been sort of, you know, friends for quite some time. But Darren does AI generated music, and I know some people are a little bit iffy. I'm iffy about AI content, but I refuse to use AI generated thumbnails. I hate that stuff. I will not watch any video on YouTube, even if it's someone I'm subscribed to, that uses those stupid clickbait AI generated thumbnails. I hate them with a passion. So I won't use that. I won't use any AI generated material or voiceovers. I think that's the stuff that YouTube's going to crack down on, is AI generated voiceovers and content. I refuse to use it. So this stuff is not copyrighted. It's generated by Darren, and he does a bloody good job. So I thought, rather than trying to learn it myself, I asked Darren if he'd do it for me, and I'll put his channel link in every video description. So, you know, those that are interested, he does some pretty good stuff. So this is all instrumental though. He did it specifically for me. So from now on, the music you hear will be different to all my previous videos. So yeah, so I'd like to thank Daz heaps for that. Thank Daz heaps for that. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. So yeah, so we're going to start moving forward. I don't know how big this video will be this week. Today, let me get the camera down, and we'll talk about what's happening today. Hang on a sec. All right, today I'm just going to strip this. I'm going to unbolt everything, take the chain off, lift this down. I don't know how I'm going to go. I've got to lift it up so I'll get the strap through it to lower it, but I should be able to do that without putting any pressure on my left hip. As I said, unbolt everything and then get those rolls onto that table so I can pull them apart. So I might even try and get that done today. So I'll get this pulled apart and get those rolls dismantled. So then tomorrow I can get on to putting in the lathe, machine the ends, machine the gears to fit, and then I will do the keys. And then reassemble it. Just trying to think what I'm going to do. Then reassemble it. Then I'm going to make the dog bone for the end with the bearings. And speaking to Gabrielle, thanks mate, what I'm going to do is, rather than just use the dog bone, I'm going to make a bracket or a mount. So it'll mount to underneath and onto the dog bone. So when it shouldn't matter. Well, it might matter, because when it's driving, if it's under load, this end's going to want to try and climb. This gear's going to want to try and climb this one, or vice versa. This one's going to want to go under. So if I make the dog bone, make it strong enough, then I can mount it to here. I'll just weld a bracket on the end here and bolt it to it. So that's going to stop. That's going to steer that end is going to be rock solid then. So thanks, Gabriel. That's I really appreciate your input, mate. It's helping. There's a couple of you, and I can't remember. You know, like half time, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But there's a few people that are interacting with my videos and commenting, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. It helps me, particularly with the electrical stuff. There's been a couple of people comment on that, and I do appreciate that, because you know, I'm not an electrician. I'm a fitter and machinist by trade. So I've said in the past I wouldn't make a boilermaker's arsehole. Well, I wouldn't make an electrician's one either. But I'm all right with basic stuff. But complicated circuits is different. You know, I wired up the can crusher. Fine, that's not a drama. I can wire up the inverter to the motor and sort all that crap out. But this one, I've got a safety circuit. I've got an isolating switch. So, and I've got two, like I've got the e-stop and the foot pedal that'll go into the safety circuit. And it's running off a relay. So as soon as that safety circuit's interrupted, it's going to let go of that relay. So that'll stop that dead. I don't know how that's going to work with the inverter. I really don't know. But I'll work it out when it comes to it. But let me put this on charge, because the battery's only flat, and I'll start pulling this apart and I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, now I've got those all pulled out. Sitting here now, I'm going to keep these in order, and for each scroll. So I'm just going to stack all these here, all those over the back. I'm still a bit concerned about clearance, but I don't know whether to try and jig it a little bit while I've got it apart and just skim a little bit off each side and just leave the gap for the spacer, so that, you know, it widens a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Let me get it apart first, and we'll see. I'll probably just time lapse this as I pull it apart. As you can see, I already loosened these off, because I do want to have to do it while they're up here like this. Being as top heavy as they are, last thing I need to do is drop one of these on the floor. They're fairly sturdy, sturdier than I anticipated they would be, but still, it's not a chance you want to take, is it, really? Oh, did I kick that bloody thing then? Sorry. One thing I noticed, let me bring it up here and show you. Before I look at this, see that little tiny shoulder in the corner there? When that goes on, see the gap? That's not sitting right up here. What that's going to do is create a wear point. And it'll wear into that and the whole thing will come loose. So before I put it back together, I'm just going to try and machine that with the end mill or something, so I can get rid of that. Alright, that's that done. Now, just going to do a couple of measurements on the end here, see what... Here I am pointing at shit and you can't even see what I'm doing. Put them in and just measure here. I'm pretty sure I should have enough to put the bearings and the gears on that. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, so I need 45 clearance, but the gears are 30 and the bearings are 15. Yeah, I've got 50, so that's plenty. That'll give me, because I'm going to put the gear up against that, and then I'll put the bearing, so that'll give me a 5mm gap between the bearing and the gear. Or, no, it won't, because what I'm going to do is I'll have the bearing sit hard up against the gear, put the keeper plate on it, and then that'll hold everything tight on there. So, just let me get this stuff set up in the lathe. I'm not going to do a whole lot more today. I've only been out here for about 50 minutes so far, but because Mickey says so. Hang on, listen.
It's 10:13. Good morning, pal.
Yeah, I know. 63-year-old man with Mickey Mouse watch. Get over it. Yeah, so I'm going to set this up in the lathe. We'll come back and have a quick chat before I go inside. Stay tuned. Alright, now I've got that in. The thing I'm worried about is run out, because most of this was done on the old lathe. I think, well, all of it was done on the old lathe and it was shit. But looking at it, got this in the wrong hand, I'll start it. I don't know how well you can see, but that's running pretty true. That's running true. If you have a look at this here, let me zoom you up. See, that's running out, but the rest of it's running concentric to that, so that's the main thing. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that for the day, and tomorrow when I come out I might even put a little bit longer, hour and a half maybe, a bit more. And I said I'll machine both these shafts down, machine the sprockets so they fit nice. And then probably, well, it's tomorrow, Tuesday, then Wednesday I may set up in that. It's still, you know, I dropped that on the floor. The last day I was out here I was in such a rush to get shit sorted so I can get and edit it. So this baby steps, we're going to get there. As I said, I don't have to take much, like I said, a mil off that, and I think that's going to be enough with that support. That's 4140 high tensile steel. Once I put those bearings and the dog bone on the end, that's going to support that really good, I think. And as I say, I was going to put 2 carbide keys. I think one's going to be plenty. I think 1 carbide key is going to be plenty. So, yeah, and I think it's the other one was the long one, so I'm going to put the key in that. I did also screw up a little bit. Well, it's not a screw, I haven't screwed anything up. But the keys for all the other stuff is 12mm, not 10. I brought 10mm key steel. It wasn't expensive, so I'll just get some more. I'll go into town. I've got to go and get some bolts for that shoot, so I might get some key steel while I'm in there. It's always going to come in handy. So, yeah. And while I've got that clamped in, doing that key, I said I'm going to just turn it over and use just use a slot drill or something and clean those up. That won't make any difference if that stuff moves that down that little bit further, because it's all going to be the same. And before I put it all back together, I'm going to sit down and have a think and maybe put that back in and make myself just a little bit more clearance on those plates. I'm a little bit concerned once I pull them up really tight, it's going to give me issues. So if I do that, I probably won't video it anyway. So see how we go. This week's video probably just going to be sorting these and the keys. Yeah, and as I said, things are coming good really quickly with my hip, so like I've been here for an hour now and I don't feel any real pain. Actually, the more I walk around, the freer I feel, because I'm getting a bit of movement, and you know. But you know, as everyone keeps saying, don't push it, don't push it. Well, I'm not going to push it. I don't want to end up, you know, laid up again for a couple more weeks. This has been 2.5 weeks now, so since I've done anything on this, and I feel pretty bad for that. But you know, I think my hip, my health comes before a shredder. But I don't know. Big Stack might say different. He said, a man my age, I've got to be really careful. It's an in-joke with Big Stack and I. He keeps telling me I'm in my 90s, you know. I feel like it, but I'm not. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'm going to turn everything off, go inside, and I'll see you tomorrow when I come back out. Okay, good morning. Back at it. And only just morning, it's 11:15, but I had to go and get my tax done this morning. That was an adventure. So now I owe the Australian Taxation Department $5,600. What wonderful news that was. And Giddy turned my compressor on, and the regulator on the compressor's broken. It's held together with cable ties at the moment, so it's working. I'll just have to order a new one. So what I've decided to do with this is I'm going to measure that 30mm from there. I'm not there, you idiot, that's the bearing. From there, and then I'll just machine that down to 25. To give a bit more meat. The more meat I can have under these gears, the better. So I'll bring the tripod over, see if I can get you into this somehow, and we'll take this down to 25, and I'll test it with I'll bring a bearing up and test it, and then I'll do the other one, and then we'll put the gears in and get them started. I've already had something, so I'm not going to stop for lunch today. I'm just going to go, what is it now, 11:15? Yeah, I'll probably go till 1:45-ish. See how I go. Yeah, hang around, stay tuned. Alright, let's see how this goes. We'll take that down 0.7. Let me set that. .1. These is 24.91. So we're just got a bees doodle to come off that. Let me take another 0.1. Whoops, too far. It's 0.62. Right, let's try that. .94. Sorry if I keep throwing that out of focus. Let me widen you up a little bit. Might be able to, just let me try that bearing. Might be able to sand a little. Oh no, that's, oh, what a nice fit. Beautiful. Alright, I'll get this one out. And I'll put the other one in. see that. There is a little bit of out. See a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that. We won't be zooming it right back in, but it's out by a touch. So it's going to be it's going to be better for it to have it run true. There you go. For those that are wondering how big a bee's doodle is, it was that big. Oh, that is beautiful. No play. Awesome. Alright, I'll hang about for a second. I'll put these other jaws in and I'll bring the gears up. Stay tuned. Okay, I got that one done. That's just a nice slide fit. I wouldn't have minded just a tad tighter, like a tap-on fit, but that's nice and there's next to no play in it at all. So once I key that, it'll be fine. I didn't video it, but I will the next one. So you can see how it's done. Just stay tuned for 1 second and I'll put you in the stand. Do that to spin the water out of it. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get you in this. Let me see, I might have to move. So that's showing 0.015. When I went down the other way, it was perfect. So I think this table, or you watch when I grab the table and push it side to side. Let's try and do up the jib key in it, take up that slack. Not much, but if I just run it backwards and forwards. Maybe go that way. Perfect. So I'm going to change this tooling over. I think I'm going to do this keyway. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to do this keyway first. And then change it over and do the keyway on the end for the gear. Yeah, bit of silence. I've just added a bit of silence out because I'm thinking when I do this end here, I've never done a round key before. I'm just trying to work out how deep to take it when I touch because it's a ball mill. I'm doing an 8mm, so do I touch and take it 4? And do the same on the other side, touch and take it 4? Yeah, that should be right. That'll be right. That'll be 8mm. So we'll soon see. You know me, prone to screw things up. Alright, I'll change all this over, put the 12mm in because I'm going to do them 12mm, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. Alright, we're ready to party. I used my centering tool to get that, but I didn't record it because it took me all of 15 minutes to work out how to use the bloody thing properly because I've never used it before. So let's see how we go, eh? that's that keyway done. That last bit took out, like, because it's only 10 mil, that's me good 10 mil carbide. So I did it to depth and then brought it out a mil each side. So it's lovely. Yeah. So like I said, all I've got to do now is get some bloody key steel for it, and we'll be right. But and that's all the way up. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. I'm going to call it a day now because my feet are getting sore and my hips aching. So I've got a little bit more done today than I anticipated. I thought I was only going to get those gears, those shafts turning the gears on. So this is a bonus. So tomorrow when I come out, I'll do tomorrow's task will be to do the keyways on the end of the shaft and the gears. So we can get those on. Then I can look at starting to put it back together. So thanks for being around, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, good morning. Back into it. This morning I'm going to do the slots here and bring the gears up and do the slots in those. So it's going to be a little bit of fiddling, but I think I'll work it out. Let's say this is where the gear's going. Now I want 8 mil key, so I want 4 mil aside. So I think, yeah, if I just touch this and then take it 4 mil down, I think that'll be right, yeah. And then when I put the gears up, I'll just use, well, I don't know if I'll use this, I'll probably use one of the end mills and just touch it and then go down. And then take 4 mil out of that, so it'll give me 8 mil. Yeah. So I'm having trouble concentrating on shit this morning, but let me get this, I'll get you back up, I'll get you up in the stand and we'll get started on this, see how we go. What speed have we got going here? GD 750. I think we might want to take that up a bit higher. I'll see how I go. It might be okay. I don't think that's fast enough. That's better. Now I don't know that, I'm not sure if that's deep enough. I'll put that in there. It's not. My calculations are, let me take you out of here for a sec. Yeah, I don't know if that's right. I think 4mm should be taken from the edge, not from the top. So I'm just wondering whether I need to take another mil or two out of that. So that's 4mm. Sorry, the camera works all over the friggin' place this morning. I mean, that's going to work as a key. It's going to work well. Because that's carbide. You're going to break the rest of the machine before you shear that. But just looking, see if we can hold the camera steady. Focus. Come on, you can do it. Oh, it's focusing. There you go. It's focusing on that friggin' handle. What's the problem? Yeah, I think I need to take another mil out of that. Let me do that and I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. Alright. It's fine the way it is. What I've done is I put that across there and use the verniers to measure down the middle. And that's what I got. So that'll be fine. So what I'll do is I'll take this out, put the other one in and machine it. You've already seen this one, so you don't need to see it again. When I've got it done, we'll bring you back. Machine's going a little bit too fast. But if I do it this way, I won't destroy me. What's he? Why? 17.85, there's my centre. Alright, just let me get this done and I'll bring you back. Alright, I did the first one and I thought I'll record the second one and I forgot. So you got the last two cuts. There's only 4 cuts, but it's looking pretty good. Just hang on a second and I'll bring you back. Alright, that's done. And they fit nice. That is a nice sort of tap fit. That one's a nice slide fit. Might need to be tapped in the last little bit, but it's snug. There's no movement whatsoever. So that worked out pretty good, thankfully. I thought for sure I was going to screw those up, but I didn't. So what I need to do now is once I get it reassembled, I'm going to start to reassemble it. I was going to machine this one, but I think it's such a tiny little amount. I'll just use a cutting disc and grind a little bit off. And I've got to go through these and file these. This is rough, man. Oh, bloody hell. There's teeth there. I've got to clean all the dint on that bastard. Cheap Chinese shit, and it's just thrown into baskets. They don't handle them. They just throw them into baskets on top of each other. And they're probably hardened with those dents in them too, so it's going to be a real pain in the ass to file them. But yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to have tomorrow off, and I'll probably have Friday off just to give the hip a rest, and I might come out on the weekend and do some more. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is just machine these down, just 0.1, and only down as far as the spaces. So that's to give me a little bit more clearance. I'm a little bit worried about once I tighten those right up, whether they're going to grab and bind, and I don't want to have to pull it apart again. Once I get it back together now, it's going to stay that way. Because what I'm thinking is when I do these up, put these on, do them up tight, and then I'm going to put a weld on each side to stop them, because they spread when you push these down. If it needs to come apart for whatever reason, then it's not going to be too hard to cut that out, so cut it out. So yeah, so we've got a bit done this week. I'm really happy now that I managed to waddle out here. I'm that keen. I came out this morning, look, I brought me Pepsi Max and I haven't even opened it yet. So Grumpy's pretty happy. Well, he doesn't look happy, but then neither do I. So yeah. So the next day I come in here, I probably won't film anything because I'll sort these. But once I start to reassemble them, I will bring you back. And then we'll start to reassemble this. Get everything back on. Get the keys fitted. I have to go and get some key steel. Get some bolts. Then I'll be able to bolt it all together. And we'll be ready to almost start wiring it. That foot pedal's on its way. So I'm going to get in touch with a couple of Lathe friends of mine just to get them to give me a hand on wiring this safety circuit and wiring the contactor, because maybe one of you guys, I know there's one or two of you that sound like you know what you're talking about. With this, do I run I think you run a positive in and then earth it, same as most others. I'll look it up anyway. I'll find it on Google. I'm going to get a bit of DIN rail to mount on the inside so I can clip that on. So yeah, I've got to work out how to wire that up, but that shouldn't take much. And I said the rest of the stuff's there. That and the inverter, that's all going to be fairly easy-ish. I've got a reversing switch I've got to try and sort out. But I'm sure somebody, I've got a couple of electrician friends around here that might pop over and give me a hand one day. Bribe them with some alcoholic beverage. So yeah, I'm really happy now how that's turned out. That's not even all the way in, but if once you tap that in, that's going to be solid. That'll be good. I'm loving it. I love it when a plan comes together. So anyway, I'm starting to waffle again. I'm going to clean my mill down and go inside and might even start editing this now. So thanks for hanging around, and thanks again for your feedback and input. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments, particularly the ones that offer advice. You know, I'm not beyond accepting advice or criticism if I've done something that's not quite right. As I said, Gabrielle sorted me out with this end, this here. And the more you sit there and think about it, the more sense it makes. Particularly, as I said, when it's under load, even with the dog bone on there, this one is going to want to try and ride up the other one, or vice versa. It wants to go under. So securing these ends, that dog bone, to the frame, it's going to stop all of that. That's going to be fairly solid, that side. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. As I said, it's comments like that that help me make sure this thing's done properly. I don't want to have to keep pulling it apart to rectify small design errors, and basically is what it comes down to, design errors. But it's a bit hard to explain. Like some people don't really understand how much work has gone just into those shafts. You know, like there's a lot of work in those. That was 50 mil 4140. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging around, and until next time, as always, stay safe. Peace.